welcome to Shy's Philosophy 101. Here's your host, Shyzabox. Oh, yeah! Oh, yeah! Get out of here. And the horse you rode in on. Anyhow, welcome nuns, welcome all. We just got here, so no one else is here yet either. Except us, which, I guess all that really matters. But, welcome to Shy's Philosophy 101. Give you a hand with helping us get set up, because apparently we are not. We probably should be. Or we shouldn't be. Maybe it's more show that way. Not good show, but, you know, you get what you get. Anyhow, welcome ones, welcome nuns, welcome all. Whoever chooses to be here or not, matters not. But we would be remiss if we didn't talk about the fact that we are going about things all wrong, Internet, all wrong. Not the first time, you know. 'Tis a hard road we have traveled. You might be saying, stop traveling it. Oh, easier said than said. Or it's just as easy or hard as said than said. Doesn't matter. But it's definitely one of those. Needless to say, we've completed our works that we took a little break to start creating, right? And we got enough stuff now that's out and about, kind of, around and things of that nature, to where now we can do some reciprocal exchange, okay, to maintain a form of feasibility with which to maintain a basic small existence there within. Okay, now, we know what you're saying. No one wants your shitty book. Okay, yes, obviously, we know what you're saying. You didn't have to make us say it for you. No, I changed your mind. We want it. Oh. Okay, here's the thing. You can get it for cheaper than what we're about to pitch, or what we have been pitching, or what we have thus pitched that is not pitched in full pitchness. I don't know. Go watch the movie Pitch Black. It's probably way better. Vin Diesel. No, sorry. Trying to make sales here, not to get people all hot and bothered talking about Vin Diesel in his early 2000 roles. Anyhow, so, obviously, we got buttons now, which is why you're here. But there are only 25 available. You might be saying, like, what? I gotta buy your shitty book to get a cool button? It's like, yes, obviously. Obviously. So, anyhow, you might be saying, I don't care about either of those things. Go back to how you can get anything for cheaper. Well, you can get nothing and just go give us money for nothing, but we would rather you go to Kickstarter and give it there, because, man, when we fail this first endeavor, boy, is it going to make us put it right back up and try and succeed until we sucker someone in. I mean, until we get some backers. So, we got a couple. We're about 30% funded. You might be saying, that's 30% too much. But, depends on how you look at it. For society and the world, yes. Okay? For us personally, not so much. Okay? See, we're trying to get that $499 price point range to pay for these damn buttons that we already bought. Okay, you might be saying, what, you spent $499 on the buttons? Like, no, obviously. The costs are also shipping and handling for a button. No, for a book and a button. Jeez. No, it's the cost involved with the printing, the pressing, the everything, okay? We're not getting rich off this, okay? We're looking for $500. And by 500, we gave a discount to society. $499. Who's rich? Not us. In spirit, we are. So anyhow, get to the poetry. Okay, that's why everyone's not here. Let's get to the poetry. On Kickstarter, which is where we posted our most awesome proposition of getting a button for having to get through other stuff. Why though? Well, that's a very good question. Why though? Yuki Juday number 01 sends you a sample. Well, here's the sample. Go to Amazon. If you have Kindle Unlimited, just tell them, give you a sample, and they give it, okay? It's on Amazon. We got like, I don't know what, 3 or 4 or 5 books on there, okay? Go pick any of them and say, give me a sample. Oh, hold on. You cannot. Amazon doesn't really like our one book that we did, okay? Now, this is an early pressing of it, okay? And this one has, kind of, we like it. We might revert back to it. This one has kind of like bigger graphs that we had, they're all hand-drawn and everything like that. But, we studied some language and vernaculars and things of that nature. And so we really love the big pressing, but it's not the ideal format that we wanted it to be presented in and such. So, where's lines of change? Yeah, this one here. All right. So we changed the format. So that one there, you can't really get that one no more. And we're not legally allowed to sell it because it's a proof copy. So there's stuff around that. So sorry, Yuki there, we can't sell that one. So we can't. No, I guess we could give you a sample of that one. But then we couldn't have a fundraiser to fund our future endeavors. And believe you me, we're going to have to do that just the same way we're trying to get this off the ground and score. I think we're $350 short. Okay? You might be saying that's $350 you're not getting, jerk face. And, oh, you got us again. Oh, way to go, Internet. Where do you come up with these zingers? Off of memes. Oh, great place. Those are funny. Send us some good ones of those. You are a meme. I don't know what that means. Here's the other version of it and stuff. You still get it just as, big and whatnot, but, we kind of do everything ourselves, so the formatting isn't what you would say, I don't know, good or necessarily perfect, but it conveys everything that we want. We'll read you a sample, though, real quick, if you would like. You did ask for it, and we don't want to think, what did I walk into? Well, hopefully you didn't walk into anything while you were watching a live stream, but Braden, sometimes shit happens, right? You might be saying to yourself, like, well, I don't know, maybe I walked into something a little too hard and I accidentally clicked on this. And believe you me, it happens all the time. Apologies. We'll try not to live stream again in the future. But we got to have a gala somewhere, and we have no rich friends with which to be like, hey, you're rich. Why don't you give us the $350 that we're still lacking? We got to sell that's like 7 more copies of this book, but what the hell? Oh, wait, hold on. Let me give this dude their, let's give you a sample. Them of which. Excellent. Well, there you go. Go buy this book now. You get a button. Don't buy it. Back it. The thing about Kickstarter is a lot of times you might be under the impression that, you're going to just be out of your, loot, okay? If you invest, if you get behind a project or a program or an endeavor or anything like that, right? And you'd be right. That is an inherent risk. But the thing about our endeavor is it's kind of already done, okay? You might be saying, I wish it wasn't, right? And fair enough. A lot of people would be saying that, all right? A lot of people are saying that. It doesn't matter. It's done. What's done is done. Done, right? That's double duns. Double D's, okay? Big old double D's. It's done and done. Okay? We got buttons. Okay? We got book. Okay? We got other books you can buy. You can get shit for cheaper on Amazon if you buy it. But guess what it's not gonna be if you get it from Kickstarter? Good? Well, it's not gonna be good either way, okay? Don't worry about the book. Buy into the button, okay? Look, you get a button and a book that you just, okay, it's new. You get an autograph in it. It's going to be a signed copy. That's the difference between Amazon, where it's a little cheaper. Okay, it's not like we wanted to break the bank, but it's built into the printing costs we promise, and shipping and handling and packaging materials. Okay. What about the typos built into the book? Well, you know, we're going to try and correct most of those by hand. And we'll be darned if there's not a few of them. But, you know, that's the thing. It's like a game. How many typos can you make us regret not finding the first proofread through when we did every single thing about it ourselves? Without an editor, proofreader, layout artist, graphic designer. Where's the graphics? I don't know. It doesn't matter. The button is what? You know his thing. But we need to, you know, get into the poetry aspect before it gets a little carried away. Which, I don't know, maybe it just needs to get carried away anyway. But we need to get into the poetry aspect because that's a main component of what really rounds out the process, right? So, obviously, as authors, and believe you me, anyone can be an author, okay? You just got to sit down and do the authoring, all right? And it's not the most fun all the time. And it's really not the most fun for a lot of time. But there is a small window where it's really super awesome, okay? And there's a window and a choice of, you know, style in, you know, one's endeavors that really is rewarding even at its most frustratingly lowest of points and most strugglingest of uphills of battles, right? No one wants to read books. There's too many good movies and games out, right? That's why you get the button and you re-gift the book. Christmas present, birthday present, someone you don't like. Give it to Goodwill. It doesn't matter. Maybe you are low on firewood. Burn it. It doesn't matter. Whatever you feel like doing, you get a button, okay? If you feel like reading it, sure. Find the typos. It's like a game. Find them before us in the next version of it that comes out. But the poetry aspect, being such what authors or philosophers as we are, we got a minor in philosophy, so we're a philosopher. You can be one too. Everyone can be a philosopher. We're all philosophers. Every man his own philosopher, right? Or woman, or whatever. You know, every squirrel their own philosopher. We'll all be squirrels. Everyone's a squirrel, except us. We're still people, and anyone else who wants to be people. But whatever. Poetry is something that is very interpretive at times, very formative at times, very structured at times, very all sorts of stuff. I don't know. There's people that teach. You know, we're not. You know, we're substitute teachers. Believe it or not. Yeah, they'll let anyone do it. Really. Pass the criminal background check. Be okay. Fingerprinting. Not this time, officer. Or this time. Or whatever. Doesn't matter. Point is that we were substitute teachers, so that's got to count for something. So consider it, you know, still not an authority on anything. This is all entertainment, okay? The only thing we're authorities on is lectin, okay? And that is some meta philosophy, and it is some super advanced meta philosophy at that. we will happily have those conversations, generally speaking, in person, should anyone choose to partake in a conversation of such. Okay? But that's not the fun stuff. The fun stuff's the buttons. The fun stuff's the short reads, the stuff you can get through, the stuff that you don't have to stomach that sounds like it's trying to be more than it needs to be. And the funny thing is that this book and this work entirely should only necessitate what constitutes a mere article's length of read, right? But apparently when you're doing things the entirely wrong way, because you're the authority on it and you have to adhere to how people tell you that way should be done, and you're an old school punk rocker in nature and you say, no thank you. You do that shit yourself, you do it DIY, and you go through and do however you feel like progressing from there. With that being the case, one of the incentivization offers that you can choose to partake in should you go to the kick of the starter and we're able to sell our 7 of the more copies of the books that we need to for this resounding mediocre success to, kind of come to fruition in. Okay? We need to score that 350 bones and we can't do it ourselves. Or I guess we could. Go get a different job, stop trying to pursue that. But then who's going to pursue that? Well, it's a catch-24. I don't know, 24 hours in a day. And we are trying to get people to give us money for all of them, right? So you can choose to, or whatever you feel like. You don't have to, obviously, take care of yourself first if you can't, and you don't like reading or anything like that, then skip it. Right? Come hang out, we do other stuff. That's the point. Right? You don't need to buy into anything here because we'll never put this show behind a paywall. Ever. Right? That's good. You need to never put this show behind anything. Now, that might very well be, but then who would we talk to? Still no one. Whatever. All right, so one of the options on Kickstarter that you can choose to add to a signed copy of the book is you can get a personalized poem inscribed in it, okay? As well as, the signed copy and all that. But since it's a very limited pressing, we're going through and we just so happen to have a 25 count of this delicious stationery too. So, additionally, randomly inserted into the 25 available texts and buttons. All right. Some paper's going to be in the book. Don't worry about it. You get your buttons still. There you go. All right. But we got to write some more of them. So, lo and behold, we're here to write some poetry for Poetry Club. Welcome to Poetry Club. We were elected president last Poetry Club. If you remember how the vote went, we won it. So, we're the president of the club, of Poetry Club. So, we get to run it pretty much however we want until we, give our Poetry Club presidency up to, whoever else wants to run it. That will inherently do it, I don't know, better, good, whatever, it doesn't matter. But what does matter is that we get these poems done. So, let's get into it and think to ourselves, what's one thing that we should write a poem on? Now, feel free to interject or not into the chat of the box. Okay? If you want to be a part of someone's personal, potential, hypothetical history in the future, by us creating in real time a literary work that will go into a literary creation that will hypothetically, if all goes according to plan and we can, sucker another get another 7 backers into getting a book and a button, and it'll be signed with, injected into it, at least a poem, okay, that's been shared with the internet, okay, they're all here. We did a few in the last stream, okay. Josh helped us out on one of them. Whoever gets that one, Oh, that is a super rare poem because it shows how the Shyzabox practice is a living philosophy indeed. Okay? It doesn't adhere to rigorous structure and standards of operation that a lot of other things need to within their existence, okay? It's malleable, just like lectin, right? You might be saying like, what, that's a poser. No, close enough. That's a pretty good description. You should have written a book on monographing lectin before us. Sucks for you. We claim to be the authority now. You're welcome to create your own lectin and get on board, but you better damn sure have Shite and Schuyler in there because they are viable to posit meta theory that, results in, plausible scientific endeavors. So there you go. We can sit there and talk meta hypotheticals all night if you wanted to, but we would get tired and we got poems to write. But I guess the first poem that we write should be about meta hypotheticals. Well, fantastic. No one wants that one. Well, no one wants any of them. What they want is the button. That's why we're trying to sell the button. You just happen to get a signed copy of the book with it, which is what we're trying to sell. But we know people just want the button. That's okay. What was it? Meta hypotheticals. Okay. Well, meta hypotheticals. Feel free to write your own poems as we go along. Or just read any or sit and listen. You might be saying like, well, it doesn't sound like something I want to listen to. And you're probably more wise than you think for thinking that. But if you do happen to have your hands full at the time, or you can't actually click off the video, or, it's like, why is my phone crashing now? I can't stop this feed. You got grease on your hands or something, your fingers are sliding over your screen. You can't unlock it to make us stop talking. Like, I hate this dude. Never watching these streams again. Whatever. Yeah, that's fine. We already got the view count from you showing up, so, eventually we'll get ones of cents from YouTube too, hopefully. We'll get ones of cents from people getting a book and a button, okay? What's that, $350? We wanted $499. We've raised by backers, 150 of that, okay? So that was, last we checked, 30%. Don't get us wrong. That's not our math. It's what the website said. Anyhow, people spend money on all sorts of stuff. Why not a clicky button that has a viable lecta on it? From the individual that monographed lectin. Okay? It's a pretty rare thing. There's 25 available. No one wants it. Okay, we understand. But people buy crap all the time. Like we said, you re-gift the book. You keep the button. It's not advanced meta philosophy here, okay? What is going to be some poetic philosophy is this meta hypothetical poem that we need to work on. Because believe you me, we're 25 in here. We wrote some. Oh man, there's still a bunch to write. Okay. We better get on it and start cranking out some poems to shove in these damn books. Now, on the plus side, if we don't finish writing the poems, which we will before, hell, books will go in the mail immediately. Well, in theory, hypothetically, you never know what's going to happen. Maybe they'll get pulled too like the other one, because, believe you me, someone does not like that book. A lot of people don't, because it's fire and brimstone. But that's beside the point. Don't worry about it. You can't get it, apparently, anymore, or you can in one fashion on Amazon. I think. I don't know. You look into it. We got other endeavors to pursue. We don't got time to, see who has a problem with what or what. We progress. We sidestep. We move forward. We advance. Okay? We'll let history sort the rest of the stuff out as we sort out this poem, Meta Hypothetical. Meta Hypothetical, huh? Well, sounds like a challenging topic upon first intake and whatnot for philosophy? How are you going to incorporate some poetry of prose or some whimsical bliss? Maybe some sort of, deity or divine apparition or something like that that'll come to, mind and just be like, hey, meta hypothetical this, meta hypothetical that. But we'll tell you what, that's the start of the poem. Meta hypothetical this. Meta hypothetical that. When I meta hypothetical, it matters not. Spelled the cool way, N-O-U-G-H-T. Old school words. It matters not. Let's see. Now, hold on. We got to reread this one. Make sure we're on the right path here. We got a little sidetrack there. Okay, meta hypothetical. Meta hypothetical this, meta hypothetical that. When I meta hypothetical, it matters not. It's all just a bunch of crap. Perfect. It's all just a bunch of crap. 2 P's. Why not? We get to do whatever we want. Shyzabox. That's us. Excellent. Someone will not want that one. Believe you me. Or they will. Be like, oh, that's the best thing I've ever heard. When you stop saying it. Well, poem done. All right. That's one down. Now, in our last stream, which we forgot to apologize for. Sorry about that. Okay. In our last stream, we were like, hey, is there a link to the link that you need? We were like, no. You gotta find it. But turns out that's work. People don't want to do that. So we did it for you this time. It's in the description. Oh, gosh. You want it. You should have done it the first time. Well, whatever. Find your way there and get your butt. There's 25. And they're not even all available still because someone got a couple or 1 or 2 or 3. I don't know. What we do know is that we need another poem. And what better way than to think of a poem about just that? What is that? No, just that. That's the poem. That. Okay? It's going to be really cool. No, it's not. Well, okay, don't worry about it. It's going to be another poem. And last time we checked, there is a hypothetical chance that someone is going to feel extremely bad for us. Hi, Mom. And they'll be like, well, fuck. Guess we'll give you $350. But, hey, we already checked your purse, Mom. It's not in there. Maybe someone will feel really bad and be like, man, this will shut this dude up. And, believe you me, that'll work for a while. Then it's just going to prove to us that we can do it, and we're going to do it again and again. We're going to keep signing books for as long as anyone wants a signed book. I mean, for however long as someone wants a button. Pretty rad. But what's also rad is that we need that poem on what? Which isn't that rad. But it doesn't matter what it is. What matters is that. It's the name of the poem. That. We already went over this. Keep up. All right. That. Oh, we forgot to underline the title in the last one. That's going to make it even more crappier. Oh, well. Hope that's not your copy. Oh, no. There's nothing wrong with meta hypothetical. We'll read it one more time just to make sure, and let's underline this title so that we know that's a title. You already read it. I know, we're reading it again to show you how not as bad as it is that it was. Or is. Meta-hypothetical. Meta-hypothetical this, meta-hypothetical that. When I meta-hypothetical, it matters not. It's all just a bunch of crap. 2 P's. Oh, well, that sells it. Oh, that's pretty good. All right. Of course it's good. Pretty good. Of course it's pretty good. We wrote it. So anyhow, speaking of that, it's the first line. Speaking of that, is that what you speak? Is that what you speak? Question mark. Got to have a question mark on that one. Now we know it's reverses backwards, so don't worry about it. But, speaking of that, is that what you speak? I knoweth not. I knoweth not. Spelled the regular way. You don't use fancy spelling in that one. Nah, it doesn't fit. Wouldn't work. Wouldn't be as cool as that word is. You got to reserve that one for use in the applicable situations with which it, resonates with. But anyhow, speaking of that, is that what you speak? I knoweth not. But in elementary school, this one kid could gleek. Excellent. You know what that is, right? That's where you kind of spit through the gaps in your teeth, right? So, dude was like, here, we're not, of course, he's there, all right? So you got this kid in the class, we got hair here, blah, blah, blah. Here's his eye, we'll make him a little more human. He's like, bah. All right, he's got his teeth here. All right, so this guy, you can't see it, I know. We'll just show it closer then for a sec. All right, so there you go, that guy, right? He could go, and spit stream spray would, just go perfectly, perfect aim. He could, probably take flies out of the skies if he wanted to, but that's just what he did. So, he was good at that. So, anyhow, that's the story about that. So, excellent. Another poem down. Shyzabox. Excellent. That one comes with, if you get that one in your book, well, boy, are you lucky that you were able to get one of the 25 buttons that are available, because that's all there is. In this run, this pressing. Who knows when the next one's going to come out, because we can't just do it with the same book. It's got to be meaningful. You don't just sign of the copies and kick it out. No. After expenses and everything like that, we got to live on that $100 that we make profit for at least a while. Now you might be saying oh man, you're charging too much if you're ending up with $100. Well, fair enough. Yeah, we probably are. But keep in mind, it's not necessarily our $100. It's the channel's $100. So they take their cut, and they need stuff like, I don't know, electricity and stuff. And, it's just, the world is a crazy place. So, let's make it a little crazier with Crazy World. It's a poem, and we're going to write it now. Because believe you me, the world's a crazy place. We're not repeating ourselves. That's the first line. We're already writing the poem. The world's a crazy place. This one kid in elementary school would gleek in my face. Elementary school would gleek in my face. Well, this is going to be the best poem yet. Everyone go to Kickstarter now and hope you get this one. I mean, geez. Crazy world, right? I don't want any of them. Okay, fair enough. But if you were to get one of them, I mean, it does come with a button. Hell, that's going to be like 3 gifts in one. That you're really just 2 extra gifts when you're gifting yourself a button, right? Look, it has elect on it. It says shite. You know what I mean? You can't see it. It's reverses backwards, but believe you me, it's there. We see it right there. You watch a little video on Kickstarter. It's ironically there as well. All right, crazy world. Where were we? The world's a crazy place. Well, okay, we'll do the title again. Crazy world. The world's a crazy place. This one kid in elementary school would gleek in my face. That's it, man. Yeah, that's a crazy place. I mean, it doesn't get crazier than that. You know, if you really, yes, it's short. If you add anything else to it, you're going to kind of ruin it, you know? I mean, you carry something like that the rest of your life. I mean, if some kid in elementary school is gleeking in your face on a regular, that's not something that you just forget. It's not something you let go of. It's not something that you stop remembering. Something that you might want to start not remembering, but you probably would do that anyway, because who cares? But what we know that we do cares about is that is one more down. That's going to be one more happy signed book, right? You might be saying, it will be happy because it's separate. That's right. No, that doesn't matter. What do we got left? We're almost out of our go juice, so we're only going to be kicking it for another minute or so here. So feel free to, you know, if you want to get out of here before us, feel free. Go on. You can dip set, all that. Okay? But just keep in mind and know that we will be back as we attempt to try and raise that extra $350 that we need. Okay? Trying to get this Kickstarter going. But we'll do one more, and that's going to be our last one. Then we're going to get out of here. So we got stuff. So, the last poem for tonight. If anyone has any ideas, feel free to throw them in. Otherwise, we'll stick with the routine of just appeasing your ears with the poetic endeavors of poetry, okay? Which is poetic in its own self. This one's called Last Call. You might be saying, that sounds like something from a bar. Yeah, they say it too. We're going to use it as the poem title, though. Then we're going to write a poem. Last Call. Uh-oh. Well, that's a happy little accident. Ironically, it has to start with a V, because now we got this fancy little V thing that we kind of accidentally made because we're writing instead of on the desk in front of us. Writing on this flimsy piece of cardboard stationery paper that gets flimsier with each piece of paper that we take out. So now not only is the poem called Last Call, the very first word starts with a V. Well, very voluptuous vixens, ventriloquist, veracity, voracious, voracious, Viscosity. Let's go with viscosity. Why not? Let's make it all scientific. Last call. Viscosity. Oh, shit. Is that C-I-T-Y? Viscosity. Yeah, it might be an S. We're going to go with C because we kind of already wrote it. But, hey, it's another one of those typos that we'll go back and figure out later and be like, why didn't we catch that before on the last proofread and edit to run through that we undertook all ourselves again? But that's okay. So we work for you, who works for ourselves, who ironically works for us as well. It doesn't matter. Last call, viscosity. So, last call, viscosity. All right, if we're going to sciencey it up, let's add some Old English into it to where we can play off some of the words in a vernacular type of rhythm and exchange that will drive the scientific components of it to a form of root in the linguistical pattern that we'll go with. Okay? Now, you might be saying that just sounds like a bunch of crap. You're right, it was. Pads out the episode a little longer, makes it sound like I know what we're talking about. Which, I mean, it was all. Granted, it was circular logic, and we got back to right where we started at, intentionally, but filler. All right, viscosity. Oh, man. Now we're thinking viscosity doth showeth. Viscosity doth showeth in science when 'tis due. D-O. D-O-do. We're going to go D-U-E for a sec, but no. Nope. Let's go D-E-W. Okay? Look, we can even make that into it. Okay, let's go with it. All right. It's crazy here. This poetry club's insane. Last call. Viscosity doth showeth in science when 'tis due, with D-E-W. As the precipitous condensation emits its wet. No, hold on. Let's slow it down. Slow it down. We can't just throw it's wet in there. Yes, we want the redundancy of the liquid component of condensation and dew, but we already have it twice. We already got a double on it. All right? You can't double a double. You can't have the double dirty D's in this one. Okay? Doesn't work. You've got to tone it down. Let's check in. Let's go back. Make sure that we're doing it right to begin with. Okay? All right. Oh, let's see. We'll just do it one more time here. We'll go through it. Okay. Last call. Viscosity doth showeth in science when 'tis due, as the precipitous condensation emits its moisture. That's the word we want. Moisture. Emits its moisture through. But do the THREW just because it's going to be crazy, right? After all, we did do Crazy World. Last call for craziness. Okay? It's going to be crazy. Because there's words in it now that are ambiguous in meaning, but are vernacularly inappropriate in their dissemination and usage thereof. It's almost like a bunch of redundant inaccuracies that make it not good or really good. at being not good. So there you go. Could be either of those. We'll read it one more time. Last call. Viscosity doth showeth in science when 'tis due, as the precipitous condensation emits its moisture through. Sure, why not? Sounds done to us. It's almost like a complete thought. All right, what is a complete thought as well? Because that was the last one we were doing tonight. All right, how many more of these do we got to do? Let's see, there's 1 live stream, 2 live streams. There are like 3 more live streams of Poetry Club. Or, depending on how much we buckle down and get done, how much money we can raise in these galas. We can shift gears as soon as we fund this little Kickstarter. And by we, obviously, we need society too. Oh, sorry, society. Sorry. We really need you to fund it for us, though. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. But we digress. We'll cut it there pretty much, so feel free to leave before us, you know. Don't forget, we would appreciate anyone stopping by and at least taking into consideration getting themselves one of these fancy little buttons that you can kind of get. Well, I mean, you know, the button itself or whatever is, you know, pretty okay for the most part, right? That's right. Kids love it. Well, that's going to do it. Couple more Poetry Club sessions coming up, and that's fantastic. Let us cleanse the air one more time. As is important for Poetry Club in some way, shape, or form. I don't know, who cares? We get to do whatever we want. Be jealous all you want. Doesn't matter. What does matter is that looks like you're beginning to leave a bunch of footprints on our lawn there, so we don't need your subscription. We want your money. Downvote the shit out of this. Go to Kickstarter and give us $1. Get off our lawn!